You swipe a no KYC crypto card at the supermarket. Somewhere, a database just linked that payment to your entire Bitcoin history. No KYC does not mean anonymous. You can use a non-custodial Bitcoin wallet, you can use a no KYC card, you can avoid sending your passport selfie to an exchange, and still end up with your whole on-chain past mapped to your real identity. In this video, I'm going to show you why no KYC is different than anonymous and how the convenience tools we all love are slowly rebuilding the same surveillance system Bitcoin was designed to route around. If you're using no KYC thinking that it's just like a magic cloak, you're going to want to see this. Let's forget the Bitcoin price for a second. Bitcoin as a network was created to give you financial sovereignty. You don't need anyone's permission to create a wallet, you don't need to show an ID to use the protocol, you can send value peer-to-peer 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no bank hours, no 3 to 5 business days, no your transfer is under review type of messages. In that sense, Bitcoin can absolutely act as a peer-to-peer payment rail that replaces a lot of what card networks and banks do for daily payments. But here's the part almost everyone skips. Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous, not anonymous. There's a very important distinction there. Every transaction is recorded on a public ledger forever. If any one of your addresses is ever tied to your real identity, a lot of your past activity can be analyzed and clustered. So yes, Bitcoin gives you self-custody, global access, no compulsory KYC at the protocol level, but it does not magically make you invisible. And that's where most people confuse no KYC on this one app with I'm untraceable. Let's face it, you're not. It's a harsh truth, but I'm giving you the red pill. Now, in theory, you could stay mostly off the radar. You can generate your own wallet, never touch a centralized exchange with it, only do peer-to-peer trades, and never connect to anything regulated. In practice, that's not how most people live though. Most people at some time want convenience, a debit card to spend crypto in shops, an easy off-ramp to pay rent or bills, or a simple app that feels like a bank account. And that's where the Trojan horse walks in. Because the same centralized entities that run the fiat system are now building the on-ramps and off-ramps around Bitcoin. Exchanges, custodial wallets, crypto debit card providers, payment processors, they look like crypto companies, but they live in the regulated world. They need banking partners. They fall under AML and KYC rules in most jurisdictions. They have to cooperate with law enforcement when required by law. Even if they advertise no KYC, there's almost always IP logs, device fingerprints, transaction records, and often email, phone, or shipping info. Here's the key point. The moment you connect your on-chain funds to a regulated off-ramp that knows who you are, you create a very strong link between your blockchain addresses and your real-world identity. Think about the typical crypto card flow. You send Bitcoin from your self-custodial wallet to the card provider. They convert it behind the scenes. You tap your card in a supermarket with your real name on the receipt or on the bank statement. Even if the card is advertised as no KYC up to X limit, the provider sees the address that funded the card, logs the time and amount, and sees where the card was used in the fiat system. Now add another layer. Blockchain analytics companies. Firms like Chainalysis, Elliptic, TRM Labs, and others specialize in clustering addresses that likely belong to the same user, tracing flows between wallets, exchanges, mixers, and DeFi protocols, and also they do specialize in flagging what they might call risky addresses, hacks, darknet markets, sanctions, scams, you name it. These firms that specialize in processing on-chain information have very interesting clients: exchanges, banks and payment processors, government agencies, and law enforcement. So when you fund a card, or withdraw to a bank, or maybe use a centralized exchange, that transaction gets tied to you. The addresses involved can be fed into these analytics tools. A large part of your on-chain history can often be reconstructed, especially if you do reuse wallet addresses, you never used any privacy tools, or simply just use the same wallet for everything. You might see no KYC on the website, but from a tracking perspective, that does not mean anonymous. It just means we didn't ask for your passport photo yet. If a government agency shows up with a legal order, card providers and payment processors are usually obligated to cooperate. And now, you're not just an address on chain, you're a full name in a file. Now let's zoom out. Right now, we're in this weird phase where Bitcoin exists as a decentralized alternative. But more and more of the ways you touch the real economy go through centralized, regulated entities. At the same time, blockchain analytics companies are getting better at connecting what happens on chain with what happens in the fiat world. And many central banks are exploring or piloting CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. On paper, CBDCs are sold as more efficient, more inclusive, more transparent, programmable money. Well, in theory, it does sound nice. But think about what that could mean in practice, depending on how they design it. Every transaction potentially recorded in a central database, wallets that can be blacklisted, spending restricted by category, merchant, or region, or balances that are programmable, for example, expiring if not spent. I'm not saying all of these will definitely happen, I'm just saying the technology makes it possible. And the trend we're on, more analytics, more data sharing, more control at the on-off ramps. This indeed looks a lot like a stepping stone toward that kind of system. Bitcoin started as a serious threat to the legacy financial model, and the response from that system wasn't just, let's put a ban on it. The smarter move is to surround it, control the entry and exit points, track flows with analytics, then eventually offer their own digital money with their own rules, recreating the same control grid but with a crypto skin. So what do you do with this? I'm not telling you to never touch a card again, or to live in a cave with a metal seed plate, but you do need to update your mental model. No KYC is not a magic cloak. It's a one small piece of a much bigger privacy picture. Here are a few concrete things you can start doing. Number one, be intentional about where you link your identity. The moment you send coins from a self-custodial wallet to a centralized exchange, a debit card provider, or any service tied to your real name, assume that address is no longer private. If you want any separation between your public and private activity, use different wallets for different purposes. One for long-term savings, one for day-to-day spending, one that ever touches KYC services. Avoid reusing addresses whenever possible. Don't use the same wallet to fund cards, centralized exchanges, and cold storage. Use tools that improve on-chain privacy. Bitcoin itself is not a privacy coin. Everything you do is visible on-chain. If privacy matters to you, consider using tools that are actually designed for it. Privacy-focused cryptocurrencies like Monero or Zcash. Monero hides senders, receivers, and amounts by default, making analysis much harder. Zcash has a shielded pool that can provide strong privacy when used correctly. They're not magic either. They're designed to make tracking very difficult, not mathematically impossible. You can still leak information off-chain through exchanges, network metadata, and poor operational security. But they do offer meaningfully stronger default privacy than pure Bitcoin. There are also services that try to add a privacy layer in between. Some of the ones I personally use are AnoGift, AnoCard, and AnoBridge. These are definitely not mainstream services. Even for crypto users, they are very niche and very young still. But the basic idea with them is you send crypto to a service, they convert it into Monero. Then, from that privacy coin, they fund a card or another wallet, breaking the direct on-chain link. How private and how safe this really is depends heavily on the technical design, how they handle logs and metadata, the jurisdiction they operate in, and whether you trust the operator at all. So treat these as tools that might improve your privacy, not as a guaranteed anonymity type of thing. Do your own research, understand you're introducing counterparty risk, and remember, any card plugged into the fiat system can still end up inside the regulatory net. Remember, privacy is a skill, not a toggle. Keeping your digital fingerprint small is not click this one button and you're a ghost. It's a system. Separate wallets for separate roles, being careful about reusing addresses, being mindful of which coins ever touch KYC'd entities, using privacy tools where it actually makes sense. It takes a bit of learning and a bit of discipline, but it's absolutely doable.
And remember, there's always the most old school, cypherpunk option of all. Use Bitcoin the way it was originally designed, peer-to-peer between two people who agree, without dragging a regulated off-ramp or a card network into the middle. So think twice before you plug your self-custodial wallet directly into the fiat system.
So here's the bottom line, guys. Bitcoin gives us a decentralized, censorship-resistant payment network. You don't need KYC at the protocol level to use it. In theory, and actually the latest data also suggests in practice, it can replace a lot of what banks and card networks do for everyday payments. But no KYC does not automatically mean anonymous. The moment you connect your coins to regulated off-ramps, your anonymous address can become just another line in a spreadsheet with your name on it. Analytics companies are already very good at connecting those dots. The good news, you're not powerless. There are ways to use these networks with more privacy. There are alternatives like privacy coins and smarter workflows. The bad news, if you just blindly chase convenience, oh cool, a no KYC crypto card, you might be walking straight into the Trojan horse trap. So think twice before you plug your self-custodial wallet directly into the fiat system.
And remember the title of the video. No KYC and anonymous are two different things.
If you want to go deeper down this rabbit hole and actually see how these cards can trace you even without KYC, watch this video next. It breaks down the tracking tricks behind so-called anonymous cards, what data they see, how they link it back to you, and where most people get exposed. That's your deep dive. But if you're ready to move from theory to practice and you just want a concrete setup that actually protects you, then watch this one instead. I'll show you how to skip KYC in banks and still spend your crypto in minutes by simply using my top no KYC card pick that already has a Monero privacy layer built in, and the cherry on top, this one is cheaper than most of the hype cards out there. Either way, don't stop here, pick one of these and I'll see you there. If you have any questions, or maybe you might want to share what you are already doing to keep yourself private using crypto. If that's the case, drop a comment. That being said, guys, thank you for watching. Take care, keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you on the next one.